Welcome to the Alicante headquarters of the Volvo Ocean Race, where the big news is that the fleet are crossing the equator. We are going from north to south, so let's take a look at the virtual eye and see what's happening out on the racecourse. Well, it's been an unbelievably efficient crossing of the doldrums. They almost had no slowdown of the fleet at all. And now the drag race continues as we head our way into the southern hemisphere. In the lead, Dongfeng race team, Mafre, Vestas 11th Hour Racing, Team Brunel and Axel Nobel just behind. No real change in those positions. The ferocious battle is happening behind them. Turn the Tide on Plastic and Sun Hun Kai Scallywag. Well, in fact, earlier on, just before we came on air, Conrad Colman managed to speak to Dee Kafari, skipper of Turn the Tide on Plastic, and Steve Hales, navigator of Sun Hun Kai Scallywag, asking them about this incredible battle and how important those position reports were.
We live and die by these 6-hour skeds. 4 of those a day, and every time you look at them, you analyse them, you work on the trim, I can actually see the boat going better. So that's the first part of it. And you know, as far as Turn the Tide go, we don't in any way underestimate those guys. You know, there's 10 of them. You know, there's some very, very talented sailors from Dee down through all of her young sailors. It'll be a tough challenge with them for sure.
So it's a bit of a drag race, so opportunities to overtake are quite limited. We tried to create ourselves some leverage when we went into the doldrums by being further east, therefore having a nicer angle coming out into the southeast trades. That now has paid off against Scallywag. We've just got the rest of the fleet now. We're ticking them off one by one. Tick against boat number 1. We've still got another few to go, but we've got plenty of miles left.
We feel happy to be to leeward here at the moment. Potentially slightly better position for them, but we're effectively going all the way around an enormous high, 3,000 miles around a big high pressure system here. So the extra distance that we have down here traded off versus eventually a little bit lighter air. So it's going to be a week of tough conditions to be leading, honestly, with the fleet behind, coming at you reasonably hard. We'd all swap positions for sure with the guys in front, but I personally wouldn't swap with the Turn the Tide guys.
Stevie's made his decisions, we've made ours. They're actually sailing slightly higher and we're going fast forward in a slightly lower mode, so we'll probably end up along the same line. It'd just be interesting to see who can keep their foot down and keep going fast as the wind swings aft, and we just got to keep making sure we're ahead of the game and pushing the boat 100%.
Long term, I'm very happy with where we are. In the short term, we've just got to minimise. There will be a couple of very, very small losses over the next day, just, you know, in the order of 2 to 3 miles. Effectively, we're going to end up running here. This is a big, long reach turning into a broader reach, turning into a run. If they choose to pick their moment to really put the bow down hard, we can match without that being a major concern. And then longer term, once we start running, our position down here becomes very strong.
It makes the competition even better, I reckon. I mean, we've all got friends on all the other boats. It's great to see everybody, you know, pushing hard and doing well. Obviously, you know, we're fierce rivals on the water and we want to finish ahead of them. That's the same for everyone. But, you know, it's good battles we're having and there's a lot of banter, and I'm sure the banter will only increase when we get to Cape Town, depending on who comes out on top.
No, I hope they're enjoying it. Good fun, you know. We have a lot of respect for them.
You've got plenty of polywogs on board, so new people across the equator. What have you got planned for them?
Well, I had a message from Neptune today, and he's checking in around 3:30 this afternoon. Some of our crew may not be looking quite the same this afternoon as they do right now. Putting their fingers through their hair, stroking their eyebrows, and making sure there's no flying fish on deck. So they're trying to protect themselves, but Neptune will always.
Neptune always wins indeed. I'd actually seen the beginnings of some pretty impressive dreadlocks in some of your crews here. So maybe this is going to be good for them.
Exactly. It's ended up doing them a favour. So I'm sure I'll be taking hairdressing requests by the end of this. But there'll definitely be some appointments needed in Cape Town. But it's all great. You know, today's been a busy day. Yesterday out the doldrums. Today we deployed our drifter and then we crossed the equator. So a mega day, and then it's all about going fast now.
So Di Cafari, skipper of Turn the Tide on Plastic, talking about some of the celebrations that we're going to see as the fleet makes their way across the equator. Keep your eye on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and whatever way it is that you get your Volvo Ocean Race updates, because as soon as those videos come in from the onboard reporters, we will push them out to you, and you can expect to see some real celebrations for the first timers. Now, coming up tomorrow, as the battle continues out in the lead with Dongfrong and Mafre, we have got a big treat for you. We are going to try and line up the two opposing teams on the phone at the same time and pit them against each other and see what they've got to say. It's a little bit new. We're not exactly sure whether the technology is going to allow us to do it, but we're going to try and bring you those two opinions at the same time and even let the skippers talk to each other. So join us tomorrow. Either way, it proves to be interesting.